All right, so to continue with the story, the tragedy happens in high school and before. In 7th grade, really, it started. And I want to emphasize that because my grandpa would later say, it wasn't because of shoot away, it was because you were playing against bigger, better players and you got mad at your dad. Your dad beat you up because you weren't respecting him. No, the arguments were happening in the 7th grade when my dad got the shoot away machine. Before I was playing against bigger, better players, whatever, which was never the case. It was because my shot got messed up. But anyways, I graduate from high school, and I'm not going to get into details about the bad stuff that happened in high school, but it stemmed from the abuse that was happening and all that. So I graduate from high school. I go to UC San Diego to play basketball. But at that time, my shot was completely destroyed. And I won't go into details, but at that time, I was shooting completely messed up because the shoot away had messed up my shot and I hadn't fixed it. Here, hold on. I was going to show kind of what happened to my shot at that time. But anyways, my game had been completely destroyed. So I'm at UC San Diego. But at the time, I stopped asking my dad for help with my shot. Because I was just like, okay, whatever. My grandpa said, everything's just fine. Just accept. So I was just like, whatever. It's over. My shot's messed up. I don't know how to fix it. So at that point, my shot just deteriorated to complete crap. But, you know, like I said, if it wasn't for the shoot away machine, it would have never happened. The reason I was so good was because I was unconscious. So when the shoot away messed it up, I didn't know how to fix it. And then my dad told me to do the exact wrong thing to try to fix it. So it was just a futile, sad situation. And like I said, coaches were saying that I would be the best player in the country when I was in high school and stuff. These were like top level coaches, the best coaches in the country. Coaches who coached a lot of NBA players are saying that about me. And they thought I was going to be a big time Division I player, NBA, all that type of stuff. But hey, things fell apart because of the shoot away machine. And my dad thought, oh, if, you know, Michael Jordan said he shoots 500 shots a day. So if I give you the shoot away machine, you'll shoot 500 shots a day and you'll be like Michael Jordan. No, he got the shoot away machine. I did shoot like 500 shots a day, which messed up my shot because I was shooting wrong, picking the ball off the rack. But it's sad. It's terrible, but it's a tragedy, but it happened, whatever. So then it's college. And like I said, I stopped asking my dad for help. And my dad visited me a few times in college. So like one time, this is my freshman year of college, my dad visits. I'd stop. Yeah, my dad visits. Everything was normal during that day. I was completely good. Didn't bring. One thing that happened was my grandpa came up with that thing. He said, you know, never talk about the past. He said, because, you know, when Jesus was, Jesus had a parable where he said, put your plow down and don't look back. My grandpa's like, that's about being in an eternal moment. That's the flow, the eternal moment. There is no time. There is no past. There is no future. There is no even moment. There's the eternal moment. And that's beyond time. And that's the flow. You know, and I understand what my grandpa's trying to say. Time is based around the illusion of separate things and everything. Now I understand what Dr. Hora taught, which was my grandpa's teacher. And when you're in the flow, you transcend the self, you transcend all, you know, all things, because there is no thing. And then therefore you're connected to the truth. Because the ego and the self warps and distorts the truth, right? So we don't see things as they truly are. Now I understand that. It took me till reading Dr. Hora's books, and I'll get to that in 2020. But, you know, at this time, I stopped trying to ask my dad for help. So everything was normal. Things were fine. Things were going good, actually. My dad came to visit me in college. I'm not talking any trash, not asking my dad for help with my shot. Everything's just normal, okay? Then I ended up quitting basketball my sophomore year because my shot was too messed up. Things were just not going good with that. But again, at that time, what happened was I started writing a lot of rap music, and I'll get to that. So, but I remember, this was my freshman year of college. I'm thinking to myself, I want to text Malik. Now, this is getting to Malik and his dad, Kenny. Malik's story and Kenny's story. I'm like, I want to text Malik, and I want to ask him if he has any basketball videos. Because at the time, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe if I, this is the first time I thought about it. I was like, maybe if I look at the videos of when I was younger, I can maybe fix my shot. Like, see, you know, maybe try to, you know, see what happened to my shot, try to fix my shot. This is the first time I ever thought of that. This is my freshman year of college. So I was like, and I thought to myself, you know, and Malik has a lot of videos, and I wanted to see the videos of when I was younger, and also I was such a good player. I thought I might want to show people how good of a player I was and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna message Malik. So I messaged Malik on Facebook, but I was too afraid to ask him about the videos. I was like, hey, Malik, remember how good we were when we were younger and stuff? And Malik was like, yeah, we were really good and stuff. And I played with Malik when I was in like the 6th and 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. I played with him with the P. Miller Ballers. And on P. Diddy's team, the Bad Boys, with Brandon Jennings and DeMar DeRozan, played with P. Miller Ballers and other NBA players, but I just don't know their names. But, because I didn't pay that much attention. I just played, you know? So, but I messaged him and I'm like, hey, Malik, we're really good. But I wanted to ask him. In my back of my mind, I'm like, ask him for the basketball videos. But I was too afraid to ask him because I thought to myself, you know, if you ask him, he might be lazy and he might say, no, I don't have them, because he might not want to go out of his way to get me them. So I thought to myself, first, get big. Because I knew, like I said, my whole life I knew it. I knew I was going to be big my whole life. I remember when I was in preschool, I'm not going to get into details, something told me you're the Messiah. My whole life, I saw myself as the Messiah. So I was like, I'm not, you know, I knew something big was going to happen. And it's crazy to say that, and people are not going to believe that, whatever. Maybe people aren't going to, some people will believe it probably. I don't know. But my whole life, I saw myself as a Messiah, and I knew something big was going to happen. I knew it my whole life. So I was just like, okay, wait till you get big. I knew I was going to be big. Then ask Malik for the videos. So I was like, I'll give myself a few years, you know, maybe 1 year. And then, but at that time I was making rap music into my tape recorder. So that was one thing I thought I was going to get big at, was rap music. Because I was very good at making rap music in my tape recorder. But my rap sets at that time were very degenerate. A lot of cuss words, a lot of degenerate stuff. Because I was a leftist Marxist. And I was anti-white. And I remember I thought to myself, like, yeah, when I would make my rap music, it was, my grandpa was teaching me his metapsychiatry, so I'll get into this. And my rap music was kind of anti-white, you know. It was, you know, sexual and violent and anti-society, anti-white, because I was anti-white. I saw myself as Jewish and I wanted to mix with white people. But I thought to myself, I'm gonna get big, first get big, and then ask Malik for the video. So I was making my raps in the tape recorder. Then, like I said, I quit basketball my sophomore year, and I thought I'm just gonna. Well, I'll first get into this. First, my dad visits me again. I think it was my sophomore year for Thanksgiving. And again, things are going normal. There's no fights between me and my dad. My grandpa had said no talking about the past. I'm not allowed to talk about the past, so I didn't bring up the past. Things are normal, but I had broken my tape recorder broke. Actually, my phone broke, and I was doing my raps into my phone at that point. I'd stopped using tape recorders because the technology was advancing. So I had the iPhone, and I was able to do the recording in the tape recorder. And this was like new. This was new technology, you know. So, but my phone broke or whatever. So my dad came and he was fixing it. So that day, this is Thanksgiving, I was writing raps because I didn't have my tape recorder. So I started writing, and I started free writing. And then I didn't even know it was good. And this is a crazy thing. Like, the reason I was so good at basketball was because I was unconscious. I didn't know what I was doing. Same thing with rap. I didn't even know what I was doing when I wrote. I had no freaking idea. I didn't know it was good, but I remember it's almost like it's not me doing it. So when I did it, I wrote it, and then I read it to my cousin. Again, like, I don't know why I read it to my cousin. Like, why did I do that? I don't know. It was almost like it was not me doing it. But I wrote it, or you know, I wrote it. It was. I knew kind of what I was doing, but mainly it's just free writing. What they say, free writing is unconscious, and that's why I was so good at basketball, because I was unconscious. But that's why the shoot away machine messed me up so bad, because I was unconscious, I didn't know how to fix it when it distorted it. So I'm free writing my rap, and then I read it to my cousin, and my cousin was like, "Wow, Ryan, that's a really amazing rap. That's incredible." And I was like, "What? I just free wrote this. I wasn't even trying." She was like, "No, that was unbelievable." Turns out that was one of the raps that was actually completely lost, because my mom would end up throwing away my raps. So I'll get to that. But my cousin was like, that was unbelievable. That's an amazing rap. And I'm like, what? I didn't even try. So I thought, and that's when it clicked to me. Again, it's like, how did the serendipity happen that I read this to my cousin? I wouldn't have, when I wrote that, I maybe would have just thrown it to the side because I didn't know it was good, you know, because I free wrote it. So I was like, huh? I was like, I'll try this again. So I did it again, free writing. Not aware of what I'm doing. Just letting the sound, the way I did it, I'd let the sound guide me. I'd be like, okay, right now a B sound needs to go here. Okay, B. Now an A sound needs to go here. But it was just all one flow, free writing. And then I finished a rap. And then I remember I was sitting at the Thanksgiving table. I was sitting with my dad. And then, so like, again, it's completely unconscious. And I read it to my dad, and my dad was like, damn. My dad was like, that's really good. And I read it to my uncle. My uncle was like, whoa, that's a really good rap. My aunt's like, whoa, those are really amazing, Ryan. Wow, that's really good stuff. And I was like, huh? That's when I realized, damn, I can free write. I'm going to be a big freaking time rapper. So then I start doing this all the time. And, but again, like, it was unconscious. I didn't know what the frick I was doing. I didn't know why it was good. I had no idea. Now I know because I look at the raps I was doing. It's like I connected the sound so good and so fast. And so, but the way I was writing it, I wasn't intentionally doing that. I really didn't know what I was doing. It's crazy to say that, but it's true. So it's like, so you could say like, Ryan, you're a great rapper. You're a great writer. Not really. I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't me, dude. I didn't know what it was doing. Something in me was doing it. So I'm doing my free writing. And I'm about to be a big rapper. I'm showing some of my teammates. I showed a couple of my teammates. But again, like when I would do it, my grandpa taught me all this stuff. My grandpa would be like, you can't take credit for anything because nothing is you, everything is one and everything, right? So when I would write, that was a part of the reason why I was writing like this. I told myself I'm not going to show anybody these raps because it's not me doing it. So I'm not even going to show anybody. But then, but I remember I ended up showing like some of my teammates. Like my teammate came over and I remember I had my raps all over the floor. And my friend was like, my teammate was like, hey, read some of the raps, right? And I started reading them. He was like, oh my God, dude, that's amazing. Those are really good. And I was like, huh? Again, because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just free writing. I don't know why they're so good. Even when I'm reading it, I don't know why they're so good. I didn't even know that they were good. It's the same thing when I was a great basketball player. I didn't even know I was good. I didn't know my shot was good. My dad was the one who told me. And that's why when my shot got messed up, I didn't know how to fix it because I'm like, wait, Dad, you're telling me my shot's not good now? No, it looks terrible. It's because I'm picking the ball off the rack and it's making me shoot with my foot forward and my foot in front of my left. But that's why I didn't know how to fix it. So, anyways, I'm like, damn, I'm going to be, like, my friends are telling me, the friends who heard my raps are like, dude, you're going to be a famous rapper. You're going to be a big-time rapper, famous rapper. So I was like, damn, this is good. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to be a famous rapper. And then I'm going to ask Malik for the basketball videos because I wanted to get basketball videos because I wanted to study. Now, at this time, I remember this was my freshman year. I asked my mom and dad my sophomore year, I asked my mom and dad, can you send me the basketball videos that you have at my house so I can study them? But my mom and dad were like, no, we don't want to send them to you because you might lose them, which is, they're right. I ended up losing them. But I was like, no, just send them to me. So they sent them to me. And I started studying them. And that's when I started to see that the shoot-away machine messed up my shot. And I started to see, and I can't go into details about what I was looking at and what I saw, but I was seeing how I used to move into shots and how I couldn't do it with the shoot-away machine. And I was like, damn, that's what happened. It was a shoot-away machine. So then, but I ended up quitting at that same time because I told myself, okay, whatever, your shot got messed up. And at the time, I didn't think I was going to be able to fix it. I just knew the shoot-away machine messed up my shot because I saw how it made me shoot with my left foot in front of my right and left foot forward and whatever. I saw that. I didn't know the details at that time, but I saw the shoot-away machine had messed up my shot. But I didn't know how to fix it at that point. I didn't know that I could fix it because I thought that it had destroyed my muscle memory. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to quit basketball and I'm going to focus on rap music. I'm going to be a famous rapper. And then I'll ask Malik for videos and I'll study the videos and everything, whatever, later. So anyways, I quit basketball and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a famous rapper. But then my mom and dad come to visit me. And again, there's been no fights between my mom and dad and me, right? Well, first I have to say I discovered the quadrant model. So then after I quit basketball, I discovered the quadrant model. Now, this is kind of the basis of how I discovered the quadrant model. Like I said, when I was living with my grandpa during high school, my grandpa would teach me things. Like my grandpa would be like, Ryan, there is no self. And that's why, belief, my grandpa would teach me these things like belief. He would tell me these definitions like belief is consolidated thoughts that we cling to. And he was like, you want to transcend beliefs because beliefs are self-confirmatory. And you want to transcend the ego, and beliefs are shaped by the ego, right? Type of thing, that type of thing. So you teach me this type of, it's good stuff. It's profound stuff. So I'm like, that's interesting. And another thing my grandpa taught me, this is an interesting one. My grandpa told me, your thoughts don't matter. Your emotions don't matter. He told me there is no such thing as thoughts and emotions. And I was like, what? And this is another reason why I was such a good rapper, was because my grandpa taught me all this interesting stuff. So when I would do my free writing, I would incorporate all these interesting philosophical ideas. So it was like, it wasn't me writing, but it was me writing, because I wasn't completely unconscious. I was unconscious. Like, I didn't know why it was so good, like how the words were connecting, but I was incorporating my grandpa's teachings. So my grandpa was like, there is no such thing as thoughts and emotions. I was like, what? What are you talking? My grandpa was like, the self is an illusion. The body, there is no thing. And thoughts and emotions are shaped around the body, the self, the ego. But he said there is no ego, there is no self. So there is no thoughts or emotions. And again, it's like, damn, this is really wild stuff. Now I understand what he's saying. At the time, I didn't understand. At the time, I was just like, okay, that's interesting. But I was like, huh. Now I see what he's trying to say. Because he was trying to say that the flow is when you transcend thoughts and emotions and transcend the ego body, because the ego body distorts and warps your thoughts and emotions. And, and the way I best look at that now is like, I saw myself as Jewish, so therefore I saw things through the communist lens, my thoughts and emotions. So if someone said something bad about Jewish people, let's say someone said, George Soros is evil, I would have been like, dude, you're a fucking Nazi, dude, fuck you. And I would have felt bad. Oh, I'm sad. But that's because that was my ego identity tied to it. Whereas if I'm in the flow, rather than my ego getting involved, I will be able to discern the truth of what's going on. It's like an objective observation of the truth that incorporates all layers and all, you know what I mean? But at the time I didn't know that, but because at the time I was still a leftist communist. So my grandpa's teaching me this stuff. But I would incorporate it onto ironically, I incorporated it onto my communist leftist lens. So he's like, there is no thoughts and emotions. So I'm like, that's interesting. And he's trying to teach me about the flow. He's like, the flow is pure awareness. I'm like, pure awareness, huh? That's interesting. I didn't understand what pure awareness was, but I'm like, okay. The flow is pure awareness. But at the time, I thought that it was just a hippie, meditation concept. I was like, pure awareness. But I thought he was just like, be a hippie, like, be pure awareness, like, be a hippie and be in pure awareness. But, and I thought that, again, it was white supremacy communism, because white supremacy Nazism, because I'm like, okay, you want everybody to be in pure awareness, and everyone will just be like, meditation, and they just accept all the bad things that are happening, and as opposed to being like, I was a Marxist, and instead of just, I don't want pure awareness, I want to change the system. I don't want to be just in meditative state. But now I understand what he means by pure awareness is the truth, like to see things purely without distortion. But at the time, I didn't understand that. So, like I said, but still, I always saw him as a white supremacist white supremacist Nazi. But he's teaching me this stuff. So then, my sophomore year of college, my grandpa had told me about a personality type model with 4 types of people: thinking people, emotional people, doers, and dreamers. And I remember he told me that, and I was like, why is there 4 types of people and not 3 types of people? And I thought, okay, thoughts affect emotions, emotions affect thoughts. When we and then our emotions cause us to do things, and then we do things, but I thought, like, but why is there the dreaming one? And I thought, okay, wait, when we dream, we're separated from our body. We do things, we have emotions, we have thoughts, but there's different qualities. So I was like, the 4th is separate, but it contains the first 3. So then I was like, okay. And I started thinking of other examples of that. I was like, well, there's also the 4 forces, like strong force, weak force, electromagnetism, and then gravity. And the first 2 is a duality, and then the 3rd, and then the 4th is a transcendent 4th. And I started thinking of all these other examples. Like, dude, I discovered the theory of everything. And what was crazy is I discovered that when I was reading the Bible on the chapter where Jesus was crucified. The first time I ever read the Bible. On the chapter where Jesus was crucified. And I drew in the Bible a cross with the 4 types of people. And I said, the cross, this is a form of existence. That's when I discovered theory of everything. So I was like, okay, cool. And then in my mind, I'm like, okay, you discovered a theory of everything. You're going to be a big rapper. You discovered a theory of everything. You get back into basketball. I'll get into that. And I thought, okay, now pretty soon I'm going to ask Malik for my basketball videos of when I was younger. Because I wanted to study the moves I did, and I'll get to that. I want to study the swag flow, but I'll get to that. I want to study the swag flow later, but I want to study the moves I did at that time. And I want, fix myself. So I was like, okay, I'm big, and I'll ask Malik later. So I'll get to that next part of the story.